Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of VAPI Fireside Chats. We're sitting here by the campfire up at Smith Mountain Lake State Park. And it's a pretty nice park so far. We've only really seen it at night for the most part, but it's pretty cool. If you have any questions for us, want to make sure that you drop them in the comments down below because we'd love to hear from some of you and respond to some of those questions. I'm going to turn the camera on Linda, and Scott has come up with a pretty good question that he's going to ask.
So, Linda, in some of these videos I've seen from other sources, some people talk about some kind of relation between Bigfoot and UFOs.
Yeah.
You seem to see some kind of coincidence between the two.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think I've seen a lot of the same videos and a lot of the same things that you probably have. I'm one of those people, I like Bigfoot almost as much as I like ghosts. And so I've done a lot of research on them, and there are a lot of instances where people have claimed to see Bigfoot just before or just after having a UFO sighting. And I mean, I think it's kind of feasible that these Bigfoot may come from another world. And this could be kind of like Chewbacca, and I don't believe that Chewbacca was not modeled after Bigfoot. That's just BS, basically. Yeah. But I really do think that there's a lot of instances where they're seen without UFOs being nearby as well. And I don't know about them being interdimensional, but the UFOs certainly would explain how they were able to kind of appear and disappear without being seen. Maybe there's some sort of futuristic cloaking device that these Bigfoot can use when they need to, just to avoid confrontation with humans. Now, why they're walking around stinking so bad? I mean, you would think that, like if you're an advanced race of beings, like you have sonic showers or something that you can use to clean yourself.
Star Trek reference.
Yeah. So, so I don't know exactly why certain things would occur, like them smelling so bad, or like the references to them living in caves and things of that nature. But it certainly does make sense that these things could be some form of alien life form. And it really kind of makes you wonder, because they do say that they're extremely intelligent, which would, again, that would kind of explain that. That they, that they walk around and kind of observe humans to some extent. They'll come into the outskirts of town and just kind of watch us. And that seems to be what the aliens do, really, is just to kind of sit back and watch us. And, at the point where they start taking people and experimenting on them, then that's when you start, like, freaking out. Like, that's not, it's not cool for aliens to do that. It would not be cool for Bigfoot to do that either. But I think it's a distinct possibility, basically, that Bigfoots could be alien life forms. I kind of tend to think they're more of like Gigantopithecus, left over from prior to the Ice Age, because there's just too many similarities there. But who's to say that Gigantopithecus is not an alien as well? That he wasn't something that was brought here. So, no telling.
I gotta say, I think I'd rather be experimented on by aliens than by Bigfoot.
That's what I'm saying.
And
that would be some freaky stuff.
Yeah, I feel like Bigfoot would be very rough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
big hands.
Yeah.
Fingers are fat.
Yeah.
Fat fingers,
Yeah.
right?
Clumsy.
And I also feel like Bigfoot would not be as sanitary.
No.
Nothing against Bigfoot, but that's a lot of hair to cover.
It is.
And when you're performing surgery and experiment on people, like, you need to cover that stuff up.
Exactly.
Aliens are bald. You know what I mean? They're just
They're
green
hairless.
guys with no hair.
Yeah, more
And they
sanitary.
still have the courtesy to wear a mask, from what I've seen in certain pictures, when they're experimenting on people.
You think?
I don't see Bigfoot taking that extra step.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think he'd even wash his hands.
No.
Before he.
No, he'd probably
starts
wash
cutting
himself like a dog does.
Yeah, and shake off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
So, Jeff, I've seen in some videos about the ability to cloak, as if it's like a little wavy cloaking device. Do you have any thoughts on? You think that our federal government would have that kind of technology, or man-made technology, or do you think it would be extraterrestrial technology? Do you think it's possible?
I think they probably do have cloaking technology, and I've seen those uniforms that they had. They were very expensive, but they were for the military, and it involved some kind of mirrors, if I remember right. They'd put this uniform on. It would basically be able to project. It doesn't make them disappear, but it takes what's behind them and projects it on the front of them, so it looks like they're not there. And I think a lot of times when people think they have ghosts, I think it might be something of an extraterrestrial nature, because these things are moving around their house. They probably do have this technology that they can use to be cloaked, and perhaps each one has different levels of technology. So when we see these shadow figures, as they call it, they don't have the technology that actually projects what's behind them in front of them, but it just makes them a dark silhouette to kind of blend in with the night. And they're not expecting people to wake up, perhaps, as they're walking around doing whatever they do, and maybe just seeing how we live, or seeing if somebody's a good candidate for abduction. I don't know, but I do think a lot of the technology that the government has came from reverse engineering alien technology, specifically the crashes out at Roswell. And I remember hearing something a while back that the stealth bomber, the technology from the stealth bomber, was something that was way beyond its time. It was something that they said there's no way they could have come up with this at this point. Now, of course, maybe there is, but the theory was that it was actually reversed engineered from the alien ship. And I've seen, I believe it was in Ohio, there was a museum up there of it was, I don't know if it was an Air and Space Museum, but they had a bunch of Air Force stuff. And the Air Force actually, for some reason, experimented with a flying saucer. They made a flying saucer. I have a picture of this thing. And it's just, it's like a big white round saucer with some kind of a big round, I don't know if it's the engine or what that comes off the back of it. But why would they try to make a flying saucer? They didn't just see sci-fi movies and think, oh, this is a good idea, let's see if we can make this. I think the sci-fi movies come from the truth. The sci-fi movies come from stuff that people have seen or reported, and they've collected these reports and said, hey, there's such a thing as flying saucers. Now, were the flying saucers from the military? Were they experimenting with them, or were they actually from an alien crash? I don't know. But I'll tell you something that this kind of leads into that's crazy about aliens. There's a good possibility that there could be life on the moon. And it's an interesting thing if you think about it, because I've always said, like, back in the day, a lot of the sci-fi movies actually involved the moon. Radar men from the moon, cat women from the moon, various moon monsters, moon aliens that would be out there, or that would attack Earth, whatever. I think the government saw that, hey, people are actually starting to look up to the moon now and think that there's life on the moon because of all these movies and comic books. So they take this trip to the moon. They go up there. Hey, look, there's nothing here, right? So what did everybody do? They stopped looking to the moon for life. They stopped thinking that aliens are actually that close. And what would happen if we knew that aliens were that close? There'd be mass panic, But I think aliens are a lot closer than we think. If there are aliens, there's a good possibility, I should say, that they're a lot closer than we think. And this is something that the government doesn't want us to know. And yeah, if they are out there, what is the first thing we would try to do if, and I'm speaking hypothetically here, I'm not saying that this definitely happened or that there's definitely aliens or not aliens, but if a spaceship crash landed at Roswell, the first thing that we would try to do is understand their technology. We'd want to learn their technology. for a couple of reasons. And the main one probably being so that we could use it in defense if there was any kind of an attack from these beings. So, yeah, a lot of the stuff we see probably came from aliens. I think MP3s came from aliens, you know. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like 50 years ago, we had to have a record with a needle. And now, where's the song? I can't see it. I can listen to it, but it's not there. You know what I mean? Like that's alien stuff right there. That's not normal. That's not right. So Scott, you're kind of an expert on cryptozoology, right? And I hear there's a lot of the Indians way back. The Indians, they would tell people that don't go near the woods because Bigfoot will take your women and reproduce with them. Have you heard this?
I have not. Never heard that one.
Have you heard that they eat children?
No. I haven't heard that either.
Well, unfortunately, we're not all that sheltered. Some of us have heard stories of Bigfoot eating kids and like reproducing with women and then eating the kids that they reproduce. I don't know. But nonetheless, if Bigfoot were to actually, let me put it this way. Do you think it's possible for Bigfoot to reproduce with a human woman? And why or why not?
I would say no. And because I don't understand what kind of anatomy some crypto Bigfoot would have, so I don't know where to go with that question. I don't know.
I've heard people say that they're well hung. That it's like quite large.
Yeah, I would like to speak with those people who is a primary source of information, the experts on that situation. So, yeah, I don't know. Really don't know where to go with that one. Sorry, I can't help you on that question.
You know, Scott, I've noticed, like, you see these videos of Bigfoot, you know, and they're all kind of grainy, right? Even in modern times, like, people get videos of Bigfoot and or what they say is Bigfoot, and I can take a video of the woods and zoom in on it and get some pretty good resolution, right? Why do you think these videos are always grainy? Like, they're always grainy, like, poorly, you know what I mean? Like, hard to see videos. Why do you think that is?
They're trying to hide the fact that Bigfoot has a bigger one than they do.
Perhaps. That could be one theory. Yeah, well, you have that traditional video of Bigfoot looking behind him, you know, as he's walking near that river.
The Patterson-Gimlin film.
Yeah.
Do you think that's legit?
I think the video itself is probably legit. It still didn't, like, prove if somebody was inside that suit, if it was a suit, you know. So, yeah. Also, the graininess is probably from the, you know, they probably actually had older technology. I don't know what year that was, but in today, I mean, as far as today, I don't know if that would be a case, because I mean, that's another interesting point. Everybody has a camera in their pocket with their, you know, cell phones. So why aren't we getting more footage of Bigfoot? You know, so it's interesting to point out there, and because if we had more cameras pointing out there, we could definitely get some better, more definitive, more definitive images of Bigfoot himself. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to think of those old grainy pictures. You know.
Yeah, and even now, like, you watch the shows where they have, like, I forget what it's called, but they have, like, paranormal evidence that's sent in, and you can't make it out.
Right.
It's just grainy. And now we have, like, how would you take a grainy video now?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
That also makes you wonder. It's like, okay, is this show just trying to make money? You know, and maybe they purposely made it grainy. You know, I don't know. Just to spark your curiosity. There's all kinds of tricks that they use nowadays to help spark your imagination and also sell stuff. You know, it's a lot of commercial tricks that people use, and then they'll apply that to other stuff to create more merchandise, more hype, so to speak. But yeah.
Yeah, you bring about an interesting point. Like, so Patterson and Gimlin. Patterson and Gimlin.
Yeah, they call it Patterson Gimlin. It was two different guys, their last names.
So these guys go out into the woods one day with a film camera, right? And they actually capture the best video of Bigfoot that's ever been seen.
Right.
Like nowadays, when everyone has a cell phone, arm's reach away, no one since then has captured such a convincing video.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that kind of weird?
That is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, like, what are the odds that these guys will go out there and get him on video?
Right. And I mean, we seem to be getting images of UFOs and stuff coming in that continue to keep coming in. I mean, even the Navy pilots that found what was it, that Tic Tac UFO?
Yeah.
With their sensors and stuff. But yeah, so it's interesting how Bigfoot, he's not getting much in this hype with our new technology. That is interesting.
Does he exist?
Perhaps that's one of those UFO connection things, you know. Maybe they have some kind of digital cloaking. I don't know. I'm just making something up right now.
So do you think he exists?
Oh yeah, I think he exists. I've never seen him, but seems to be a lot of people talking about him, and there's different theories and stuff out there. But I think if there's that many people saying this, who aren't making money off of it somehow, I don't know. I think it's a possibility because, well, I mean, if you read the Bible, there's also stuff that sounds really strange in there as well. Possibilities of things going on, but I think it's possible that he exists, yeah. Even without any proof.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of the VAPI Fireside Chats. Thank you for joining us and hearing some perhaps interesting answers to these questions, as something seems to be lurking in the darkness just beyond the campfire glow here.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff making noise out
A
there.
lot of strange sounds. But make sure you drop your comments, questions down below. We want to try to respond to some. Give us some ideas of what you would like to hear answered. Until next time, remember, there's much more to see in the woods.